So if you have ever been told that you are too sensitive, too emotional, or too much, here's a secret. That sensitivity might actually be your superpower. Because your brain is literally built to feel what other people are feeling through something called mirror neurons. Now, this is the case not just for people who are empaths or who feel very strongly what other people are feeling, which is something that today we call a highly sensitive person. This is something that actually happens to everyone. And today, we're going to talk about how our emotions can spread much faster than facts. In fact, it could even spread faster than gossip. And how to protect your peace without shutting down your empathy. Hi, I'm Dr. Goodwin, a family medicine physician and a fellow empath, a feel everything kind of human. I've been diagnosed as a highly sensitive person, which is not yet in the DSM-5, but it is something that I think can be really helpful for people to understand about themselves as a neurodivergent person. Between my patients and my own chronic illness journey, I've seen how emotional energy can move through families, workplaces, and even the hospitals that I've worked at like a current in the air. And in this video, we're going to unpack how motor neurons can make your emotions contagious, why that's not your fault, whether you're the person experiencing the emotion or you're picking it up from other people, and a 5-minute emotional reset that you can use the next time work or a family gathering just feels overwhelming. And we're also going to talk about something that's really important to me, how to honor your own emotions even when it makes other people uncomfortable. So let's start with the science of emotional contagiousness. Our brains are actually wired to get in sync with other people's brains around us, not just in our body language. I'm sure you've probably heard that if you cross your arms when you're talking in a group of people, other people will start to do it too. You'll notice you scratch your nose, somebody else will scratch their nose. We tend to mirror each other. And this is also true in our emotions. And that is the magic and sometimes the burden of mirror neurons. So here's what we found in studies. When we hear other people laughing, the regions in our brain will light up in the exact same area that would activate if we were laughing ourselves. So your auditory mirror neuron circuits respond as if you were laughing too. So this explains why laughter is contagious. You hear someone laugh, it spontaneously triggers laughter in you even before you consciously choose to laugh or even understand or heard what the joke was. The same thing goes for sadness, anxiety, anger. The emotional signals from other people can get activated in your brain like a current if you're watching them or if you're hearing them or if it's someone sitting right next to you crying or yelling. So if you oftentimes feel deeply affected by other people's moods, it's not because you're doing something wrong. People who are highly empathetic have more mirror neurons. Your brain is biologically designed to resonate with other people's emotions. So you didn't catch someone else's mess. Your empathy circuits, which are part of us biologically so that we help each other out as fellow human beings so that our entire race would survive together, your brain is just doing its job. So here's why sensitivity oftentimes feels like too much. Our society rewards emotional control, not emotional accuracy. People who feel deeply oftentimes get labeled as too much, when in reality, we're simply tuned in a bit more deeply to what's going on around us. Even people who aren't naturally highly sensitive can get told that they're too much when they show big emotions in joy, in grief, or in anger. And why do we do that? Well, of course, in many cultures, especially here in the United States, we're trained to keep our emotions low, steady, and very contained. We use it in arguments all the time. Whoever keeps their cool the longest or seems the most unaffected can oftentimes come across as the cooler person or the person who wins that argument. But most of us who've been in long-term relationships know that while that might work to win the argument in the moment, oftentimes looking more ineffective can destroy the relationship itself over time, that it's actually incredibly important that we connect with each other on an emotional level. When your brain resonates deeply, thanks to mirror neurons, and you respond wholeheartedly, some people recoil. Not because your emotion is wrong, but because other people were not prepared to feel it too. That's why you'll often hear advice like check in with your friend or your partner before venting to them. Make sure that they're in a headspace to hear what's going on with you. But it's also the reason why we highly discourage having big emotions in the professional workspaces. We really discourage venting or getting angry or anxious at our customer service workers because they don't deserve to feel that when they didn't do anything to earn it. But we also oftentimes have to stay calm and professional in meetings or when we're working with other people in order to get respected. That's part of our culture. It's not part of how we're biologically wired as human beings. We just have to remember that sometimes our culture needs to shift and we need to become more comfortable expressing emotions in public. And sometimes we have to recognize that not everyone has the emotional and mental bandwidth to absorb the heavy emotion that we're putting off. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you should shrink yourself. The goal isn't to stop feeling things. The goal is to feel wisely, to understand what's going on around you and when people can handle it and when people can't. So if you are someone who feels things deeply and you've noticed that empathy can just slide into something emotionally exhausting and depressing, I know for myself personally, if people have very strong negative emotions around me, it can trigger a minor depressive episode and I can be really gray and foggy brained and exhausted for weeks afterwards, just after one minute fight. That is a sign that you actually really need to see a medical provider and maybe get diagnosed and get some help for some depression. But it also means that you need to be really careful with your energy and allow your friends and family to know, hey, I'm mentally not in a space to handle large or loud negative emotions. And people who really care about you will absolutely help you protect your own mental health that way. So, if you've noticed that you struggle a lot with feeling flat or a lot of strong emotions can really trigger depression for you, I have created something for you. It's the Healing and Depression course, and it is a step-by-step guide to understanding your moods, your triggers, and the patterns using the same tools that I use in my own medical practice when I'm counseling my patients and also in my own personal life. It's not about fixing your emotions. It's about learning their language. You can find that linked below. Now, let's talk about how to actually move these emotions through your body safely, even if others cannot hold a space for them with you. You are wired to feel. Many people around you, your coworkers, your family, even your friends, may not have the emotional range or safety to handle those big feelings, depending on the day, where you are, and what's going on. And this changes moment by moment. So it's so important for us to check in with people around us and see how we're all doing. Here are some safe and powerful ways to release emotion when you need to get it out, but other people are struggling to hold space for you. First of all, get somewhere private to vent and release it. You can go cry in the bathroom, you can go sit in your car, you can go sit in your bedroom, and you can let all of that emotion out there with absolutely no shame. Tears release the stress hormones physically from your body, which is why you feel so much better after a good cry. Suppression makes you feel worse for so much longer. So if you need to have a good cry and the people around you are like, hey, I'm not doing so great today, go have a good cry somewhere else. Like, you don't necessarily have to have somebody give you a hug. Would wish and hope and pray for you that everyone would have someone that would give you a hug. But if they don't, take yourself to the bathroom and have a good cry anyway, because it's so much better for you in the long run than holding it all in. And secondly, express it through movement. Dance in the sun, dance in the rain, stomp on the floor, go for a walk, shake it all out of your body. Movement is going to discharge the emotional energy that's being stored in your muscles. And if you need some physical expression, I highly recommend either hitting a pillow, tossing a pillow against the wall or across the room, as long as you don't actually throw it at anyone. This is going to give your anger or frustration a safe physical outlet. I once took a yoga class where we did absolutely nothing for the whole hour but throw pillows on the ground and scream. And I have to tell you, I felt so much better afterwards. It was amazing. Journaling. I love journaling. If I am stuck at work and I'm feeling really emotional and I can't even get away for 5 minutes to go to the bathroom and let it all out, then I'm going to grab my phone, open up a note, and just write it all down. Here's what's coming from me. Here's what I'm feeling. Here's what I think is coming from other people, what I'm picking up from them. And here's what's hurting me. Here's where my boundaries are being crossed or my body is telling me that I need to make a change. My boundary is being crossed. Every single emotion that we feel is telling us a story. It is a signal that says that something is going on in your life that needs your attention. And then music. I love music. Music is one of my favorites. Play a song in your headphones that matches your mood exactly. Sing it if you want to, sing it as loud as you want, sing it as softly as you want. That sound vibration, especially humming in the throat, we have learned, is actually incredibly good at activating your vagal nerve, helping your body to calm down, remove any energy that's kind of been stuck, and just release that emotion. It's incredibly important that we really take care of each other and each other's mental health. We all know that we're all struggling right now. So ask, do you have the space for something heavy right now? And it's okay if they don't. It's definitely important to remember that your emotions matter and their emotions matter equally, and that we need to all work together to share our emotions in safe spaces and to protect each other. If you have friends or family members that are consistently unable to be there for you when you need to release heavy emotions, find friends, family, therapists, medical providers who can do that for you. Connect with people who can feel big with you. Sometimes it is important to find a friend, just one or two people. It doesn't have to be everyone who can help you when you need to release that storm of really big emotions. All right, now let's talk a little bit more about our culture. We know when we were kids, we were always taught to say, don't cry, you just need to calm down, or when you're in the workplace, be professional. And these messages shrink us. They teach us to fear our emotions and to push them away, that we're going to be punished when we express our emotions, instead of actually working on understanding what's going on inside of us. Part of healing isn't just managing your own emotions, it's actually helping to change the emotional climate that's all around us. We need to model that it's okay to cry, to laugh loudly, or to grieve openly. Our empathy is what makes us human. There are some people that say that empathy is a weakness. There was a tech mogul a few years ago who said that empathy was an obstacle to progress, that humanity would evolve faster without it. I have never disagreed with something more, I don't think, in my whole entire life, because we cannot love one another. We cannot have compassion. We cannot take care of each other without empathy. That's what makes us human. That is what is going to save us as a culture and a race as we move forward in life. Empathy doesn't hold us back. It's actually what's holding us together. So let's talk about a 5-minute emotional reset that you can use anytime, anywhere, if emotions are starting to flow, your emotions or someone else's. So first things first, step out and pause. Physically move away from the emotional storm. Go into a different room, go into the bathroom, go sit in your car, go stand outside. Breathe slowly. Take a count of 4 in, hold for a count of 4, and then exhale for a count of 6. Do this 2 or 3 times to tell your nervous system, I am safe, I am going to be okay, we are going to be able to get through this. And then name out loud what's yours and what's not. I am feeling angry and frustrated because of this reason. This other person is feeling sad and angry because of this reason. And then let other people's emotions go. Say that tension belongs to them and not to me. Okay? And round back into your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your hands on your chair. Take a deep breath. Recognize where you are in the present moment. That is incredibly essential at helping us to recognize what's ours and what belongs to somebody else. And then tell yourself out loud, this is one of my favorite intentions, I can be empathetic without absorbing everything. I don't have to carry it, right? I can listen and help someone else as they're processing a heavy emotion, and I can take a deep breath and I can let that go. Like, I don't have to carry it with me out the door. I can actually stop and release it to the world. I don't need to absorb it, and then I can move forward. And if you need a deeper release, add one of the earlier tools. Journal, move, cry, sing it out. The goal isn't to feel less. The goal is to feel freely and then come back to your center. Remembering that you are the sky and your emotions are the clouds that pass across the sky. You are not your emotions. You belong here, present in the moment, and your emotions will simply pass through you and then they will leave. Your empathy is not a flaw. It is a form of connection. But just like washing your hands, sometimes we need to clear our emotional residue too. If this helped you to feel more grounded, go watch my last video, why Halloween and our cozy fall rituals can help you with depression, because it is a beautiful reminder that small seasonal rituals and sensory comfort can help you reconnect with your joy. And please remember that being sensitive does not make you too much or too emotional. It makes you attuned to the world around you. And the world desperately needs that right now. So I give you free permission today to go out and feel.